In 570 AD at the city of Mecca, formed by nomads and fighting tribes. Religious figures included many different idols. Muhammad was a great political leader, a religious leader, and a great person overall. However, it has come to our attention that not many Americans know much about Islam and how they are interpreted because of current events and extremist views. Therefore, they are easily influenced by other inaccurate information.
Muhammad, the prophet of God and starter of this new form of religion, was born in a time when Arabia was still divided into tribes. Most of the land there was harsh and barren, and there wasn't much but long wind-blown stretches of sand. A few nomadic tribes lived among oases, where the weather was a bit milder. In 570 BC, when Muhammad was born, he was taken into one of the nomadic tribes led by his uncle.
Well, while Muhammad grew into his young teens, he worked as a shepherd, also sometimes working with a merchant, where he displayed a talent. There, he became a merchant and worked as a caravan agent for a wealthy merchant, Khadijah, who was impressed by his honesty and character. During 595, they were married, Muhammad at age 25 and Khadijah at almost 40. Mecca, at the time, was a city where they stored idols in tribute for the gods in return for money. Lots of tribes traveled to Mecca to pray for the gods. Some of those gods included the god of the sun, the god of the moon, the god of the dark, and the god of the elements. Muhammad liked to stand on the outskirts of the city among rocks and plants. However, one day he stepped inside a dark cave, falling asleep. He heard an angel talk to him, his voice coming from his own mouth. There's one main message from that. There's only one God. When Muhammad told these things and said that there's only one God, Khadijah was the first to believe him, followed by his cousin. Then he began to preach to the public in around 613 AD. Most Meccans mocked him, but a few became his followers. Newcomers to the land often believed what he said was true, and his number of followers increased.
However, the more followers Muhammad got, the more dangerous it got for Muhammad. Mecca's leaders disliked him because it ruined their business and it considerably weakened Mecca. Many of Mecca's leaders teamed up together to kill Muhammad. They asked Muhammad's uncle to withdraw his forces, therefore making Muhammad easy to execute as he was left wide open. In return, his tribe would not be hurt in the fight. His uncle refused.
This was a new hope for them. The religion started to pick up in their new town, a place called Yathrib, which was later renamed Medina, which means the city of the prophet. It was the ultimate test of them and their religion. They had to leave the land of their ancestors, and they had to leave for a trip where they weren't sure what they would find. Later, Muhammad's success grew. Using his talent and leadership, he gained more followers in Medina. Soon, they prepared to go to war and fight Mecca. The Muslims had a large disadvantage. They had a few hundred people and very few weapons, while the Muslims had some thousands of people and lots of weapons. They had a strong army and even at a large disadvantage, they won some battles with Muhammad as their leader. The tribes noted this and saw God's hand in the victories of Muhammad. A lot of them joined him and the tables turned. Soon, Muhammad's army was 10,000 strong and were heading to Mecca for the final battle of religion. This means they were expecting the worst. Men being captured and the women and children being enslaved. However, when Muhammad's army reached Mecca, he hugged the leaders of Mecca.
Now there were people trying to kill him and ruin his religion. Everyone expected him to hate them as well, but he didn't. Islam was about to love even your enemies. The worst was when Muhammad used his weapon to smash the idols of his ancestors' gods. There was a shock because even though they had started a new religion, the old gods, the idols, the gods that ancestors believed in were wrong. During 630 AD, Muhammad moved back to Medina, where, for the next 3 years, he consolidated the rest of the Arabian Peninsula under Islam. In March 632, he returned to Mecca one last time to perform a pilgrimage, and thousands of Muslims joined him. After the pilgrimage, Muhammad returned to Medina, where he died from an illness.
What is the problem?
The problem is that many Americans are unfamiliar with how Islam started and the founder of Islam, the Prophet Muhammad. Many recent studies have shown that Americans don't know the real facts and are very biased about Islam.
So you were here to fix that?
Yes, I am.
After Muhammad's death, however, the religion was just started. The reason that Muhammadan killed the leaders was because it was the will of God. Some people think that when some people in a group do something bad, it means that all of them will be that way. But that's not the way it works.
In conclusion, the Muslim community is a thriving one, with hopes and beliefs, just like the rest of us. Most of us usually think of them as different and sometimes even mean. However, most of them are kind and happy, not at all what we think of them as. Muhammad and his religion continue to affect us, even for more than a millennia after.